friend Scott Rose once told me, one of the greatest gifts you could ever receive is the opportunity to challenge yourself. When you're committed to personal growth, the only person you are competing with is yourself. There is no other competition. Each day, the only intent you should have is to be better today than you were yesterday. And with each week, each month, and each year, your goal is to become exponentially better than you were before. That means at minimum, you become twice the person you were 6 months ago. Because you are intentional about living your best life. The truth about personal growth is that we all do, intentionally or inadvertently. Choosing to challenge yourself will help you grow better. Choosing to not. Bless up and big up yourself, one and all, one and all. I have returned. Welcome to the Troy Graham experience. I am the aforementioned Troy Graham. And guess what? We're not talking boxing this time, ladies and gentlemen and ladies. First time putting out a podcast about my journey through to my heart transplant. You know, saw the thumbnail from Lvad to heart transplant. You know, that took some time for me to do this because I don't really get into all that most of the time. But I figured, hell, I wanted to share because I know it's a lot of folks going through it. I'm not the only one. I'm not the special person in the bunch that's going through it. So why hold it in? You know, why hold it in? You know, I just rather share and build bonds with others that are going through it, and have a little conversation with those that are on the journey like myself. And believe me when I say it's a journey, it is a journey. Yeah, in my case, I didn't get sick or anything to damage my heart. It's just something that I was born with. Something I was born with runs in my father's side of the family. It's called a congenital heart disease. You know, few people, many people are born with it, and some people grow out of it. I did not. Mine just gets progressively worse as I get older, which is why I have an LVAD machine. If you notice, I have the LVAD on my thumbnail. So, what's a LVAD, you're asking? It stands for left ventricle assistance device. It's a heart pump, long and short of it. The left side of my heart is basically non-existent anymore. It went into heart failure, so can't pump on his own. It needed a lot of help. Just, I'll give you a picture just to paint you a picture, right? Imagine having a flat tire. Your tire's deflated. Imagine that. So you could pump that tire up and hope it holds until you get home, right? So that's what the LVAD does for me. It's just keeping that flat tire until I get a heart transplant. But you know what? It don't stop me from doing. I mean, there's a few things I know I can't do. I got to regulate myself on a lot of things, and I got to watch my diet and so forth. And the journey that I'm on, I know I've lost. I went from 275 to 197. Then I got to like 215. I settled at 225. Recently, I put on like 10 pounds, so I'm 235 now. So I want to get back down to 215. I feel better there. 225, 215, good for me. But yeah, it's just a journey. This heart transplant is a journey, baby. Let me tell you. And those of you that are from the LVAD group who are listening to the sound of my voice, you understand the journey, you know? You've been through it. You've been through it. So definitely, yeah. It's a long process, man. First is you go through the surgery, and then you got to go through the rehab, and that took about 5 months. You literally, I had to I was literally a prisoner of my own body for 5 months, and I had to learn how to walk again and just get the use of my own body again because I couldn't really walk. I couldn't do anything too much. You know, couldn't even go to the toilet. Nothing. You know how that felt? I was at my weakest, man. And for a man like me, that was horrible. Horrible, you know? Thanks for smashing the like button, Alonzo. Amazing. And Ladies of I Talk, thanks for coming by. Go check their show out. I believe that, oh Lord, see, I'm bad with scheduling, but the ladies of I Talk, go over to their page and hit the like button and subscribe. It's just like it sounds. The ladies of I Talk, ITOK. Go support them. They always support me. So thank you. I appreciate that. And head to the main page too. That's I Talk with all the fools over there at I Talk, and go enjoy yourself talking about everything under the sun. But yeah, yeah, man. But this journey I'm on, as you can see, it doesn't really dull my sense of humor, at all. I'm not in a sad place or anything like that. You got to come from a place of joy and strength, man. Ain't nobody got no time for no pity party, man. I mean, a lot of limits, a lot of limits out there and all that, and just things of that nature. But it's all a part of the journey. It's all a part of the journey. It's nothing, you know. God don't give you nothing you can't handle. Come on now. If He did, then my back would have been broke, and obviously my back isn't broken. You know, no, my back is not broken. I'm always yawning. The reason y'all see me yawning and looking tired all the time, because I usually am. Even though I'm like a vampire, I sleep during the day. My sleep schedule is like way off. So I sleep during the day, and then it's just up at night like a damn vampire. What kind of vampire needs a heart transplant? I think I should write that movie. Yeah, he sucks blood to keep his heart pumping. That's stupid. But it's funny to me. Shut up. I don't care. It's funny to me, man. Funny to me. But yeah, 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 definitely. If I write that movie, I want y'all to check it out. He's a bloodthirsty vampire, but he needs a heart transplant. Hilarious. But wait till some more people triculate up in here so we can have a good old conversation, man. Oh my God, that was stupid, but it's definitely a movie I could write. So yeah, and then what I did, uh, hold on, y'all. Lord have mercy. This yawning business. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, y'all. Hey, I'm not even gonna lie. You take when you have these heart issues, you take a lot of pills. So I gotta take fluid pills. If you know anything about fluid pills, they keep you going to the bathroom. I know that's TMI, but it's part of the business. It's part of the business, as they say. You know. So yeah. So it's just been a long journey. Long journey along the way, and I'm taking that journey, taking the steps, and I don't feel no way about it. I'm good with it. I am good with it. I'm gonna change that name, the great controversial, to just simply the best me. Yeah, that's gonna be my name. The best me. I don't like that. I don't like that whatsoever. So I think I will change that to the best me. So yeah, great controversial was just a joke, actually. You go on these different platforms and people want to nitpick because they don't like your opinion, and they tell you, well, You have to agree with their opinion, and you have to go along with the status quo. And if you know me any at all, I don't go along just to get along. I'm not that guy. I never will be that guy. Okay. Now, if I choose to say that I agreed, and I'll agree, but you're not going to tell me I have to agree, and I'm going to say, okay, fine, I agree. That doesn't, no. My heart is weak, but I'm not weak. It doesn't work like that. No, no. So yeah. But let's sort of talk a little bit about this journey. Like I said, I had this thing from birth. It's not something that came along in my life and just, hey, surprise, I'm here. No, I had it since birth. Since birth, right? Runs on my father's side of the family and stuff. So, hey, what am I supposed to do? So, ever since I was a child, I used to get little minor strokes and things like that. And I played harder than all the rest of the kids. I did. I ran faster. I played rough. I did it on purpose because I thought my time was limited, right? So I just did more than the rest of the I did more than the rest of the kids did on purpose. I used to when I used to go to the dentist and stuff, I used to be able to slow my heartbeat down to a crawl to the point where the doctor would be trying to find my heart and he couldn't find the heart. And he would turn to my grandmother and was like, he's doing it again. Get him to stop right now. He's doing it again. He's doing it again. He's doing it again. And it would freak the doctor out. Literally, like, how do you, he would, I mean, the dentist, and he would be like, how the hell do you do that, child? How are you capable of slowing down your heartbeat to like a crawl like that? And I'm like, I don't know. The same way I was able to speed read, I just had the ability to catch a couple of deep breaths and concentrate, and I would make it slow down. And then I'll just let it go normal. Freaked out the damn doctor all the time. And I really didn't get hurt that much coming up, man. I mean, I was knocked out by a swing, a baseball bat. Uh, but those things happen. But I really didn't get hurt as much as all the rest of the kids because come to find out I had some extra muscle on me, and that was another part of my disease. Come to find out because I had extra muscle on the inside as well. They're called membranes. So those membranes were slowly suffocating my heart. So as I got older, I worked out. I was the calisthenic guy. I wasn't too much of the weightlifting guy. A lot of push-ups, a lot of jumping jacks, a lot of sit-ups. I ran, I sparred, all of that. Hey, Miss Evelyn, how are you today? So thanks for coming by, man. Appreciate the support. So yeah, I did all of that. And while I was working out so much, I was building up my body, but the membranes inside my body were also building up, and that was suffocating my heart. I didn't know that. No one caught on to that until I was in my 30s. So while I was working out, I was building up muscles outside, my arms, my legs, my chest, stomach, and all that. But I was also building up the membranes inside my body, which were choking out my heart. That's just another part of the disease I have. It's just rare, something very rare that comes along with it. So, you take the good with the bad. Cause I was always doing something, man. I used to be able to carry a couch bed. I mean, an old school one, solid wood with the metal frame. I could carry that for about a quarter mile, man. Once I get it up on my shoulders, I could carry that up, like, stuff like that. I was good. I was strong, strong. I used to uh, I used to have two jobs. My first early morning job was I had a contract with these different newspapers, and I would deliver them to hotels. And I was so tired sometimes that I wouldn't pay attention, and I would walk into the doors and knock the doors off the sliding doors. I would knock them off track, and the manager was like, "How the hell do you knock these heavy ass doors off track?" He said, "You can't. Nobody does that. People walk into these doors all day, and when you knock them off track, what are you made of?" I was just big. I just had some extra muscle comes along with the territory, But then as I got older, I realized that once I hit like mid 30s, I was like, I'm slowing down a lot now. Slowing down a lot because the older I get, like the weaker my heart would get. And I started slowing down, slowing down, slowing down. Like stuff like walking up steps was like, damn, why is it taking me so long to get up these few steps? And that's where my heart was going into heart failure, you know? So I was stubborn and I didn't want to deal with it until one day I just got so damn weak. I didn't even want to get up off the couch. Actually, I was so damn weak. And I was married at the time, and my wife was like, we need to go to the doctor. So he took me to the doctor, and they were like, we have to keep you here. I'm like, what for? So we need a heart transplant. I was like, oh. So I said to the doctor, me with my sense of humor, do you have a doctor? She was like, yeah, why? Because I want a second opinion. So I want to go home. She was like, well, two things. You're not going to see my doctor, and you're not going to hell home. You're staying. That was in June. That was in June. I didn't come home till September. That was the first time. I didn't come home till September, y'all. They kept me in that damn hospital. They put a heart monitor on me, and I couldn't leave the floor. I used to take that damn thing off and go walk around the hospital. They were so pissed at me a lot of times to the point where they basically had to lock it in on me. No, they gave me a mobile monitor. So when I wanted to leave the floor, I couldn't. They could still track me. So, yeah. Listen, I wish I'm waiting for some more people to come from the Lvad group because they would have a better understanding of what we could share our stories, but it's not a people say it's a disability, a disease, and all that. I just look at it as a way of life. Is what you do. I'm a hard head. I was a hard head in the hospital. I was having fun, Miss Evelyn. I was having fun. Hey, Miss Evelyn, you know what I used to do in the hospital when I went in the first time? This is in 2008. I used to go to the cafeteria, right? And so I had this heart monitor, and they give you these tags on your wrist to tell people where what a wing of the hospital you're in because it was a big ass hospital in Baltimore. So everybody knew I was from the heart wing. So I go to the cafeteria and I would like and they have this place in the cafeteria where you order your food and they'll basically cook it right there, like steaks and ribs or whatever. So that day they had ribs. I went to the chef and I'm like, yo, give me some barbecue chicken, macaroni and cheese, and the ribs. And he was like, he had his shirt buttoned down a little bit. I could see that he had open heart surgery. You could tell. So he was like, yo, what the hell are you doing eating ribs and barbecue and macaroni and cheese and fried chicken? I ain't giving you nothing, man. Well, what's wrong with you, man? You from the heart transplant floor. You don't even need to be eating that. I'm like, brother, this ain't for me. This is for the nurses that I drive crazy on the floor. He was like, yeah, right. I said, no, this is for the nurses, man. I'm not eating that. I'm not gonna put myself in that situation, right? So he gave it to me, but he didn't give me the ribs. He just gave me the chicken and all that. He said, I'm gonna call up there and check, man. And he did. He called up there and checked on the floor. And I went up there to my room and I opened up one of them packets and and then the smell started going around on the floor. And the nurses was like, I know you're not gonna eat that. I know you're not gonna eat. Or I know you're not gonna eat that food. And shoot, I was like, the two of them came in there. It was like, yo, Mr. Graham, what's wrong with you? What you do this time? I'm like, what? You gonna eat fried chicken and barbecue chicken, macaroni and cheese and all that? I'm like, nah, you gonna eat it because I bought it for you. They like, well, for real? I said, yeah, I've been driving y'all crazy. I just want to do something nice. They like, you wild. You a pain in the ass, but you wild. I said, yeah, that's that's what I did, man. That's what the hell I do. You know. I got hey, I was so bold. I got some ginger ale too. I ain't supposed to be drinking none of that. I got some ginger ale. I got some fruit juice and all. They were like, I know you're not gonna do this. We're not gonna let you do it. We're gonna call your mama. I'm like, I'm 38 years old. The lady said, I don't care. I'm calling your mama. She said, if you give us any problems, to give her a call. So I'm like, man, this is for y'all. They were like, oh, thank you. So yeah, I used to do that like every once a month when I would get my check and all that stuff. So it was so funny to me, man. They was like, look, I know you ain't trying to eat that pie up in here. I'm like, this ain't for me. It's like, you trying to make us fat. I'm like, yeah. It's like, Mr. Graham, don't be looking at my butt while I'm walking away. I'm like, sure, I'll try not to. Yeah, I was in there just having fun, but because I couldn't leave, they told me I need a heart transplant till it got kind of late, and they had to do surgery on me. So they finally did the surgery on me because I didn't get the transplant at that time. They did some surgery, fixed me up to hold me over, and then I had to come back in and have another thing done to me, which is called an ablation, where they run cameras down your throat from your throat all the way down to the center or to your where your heart is. Usually you're awake when they do that. And what they do is they put this thing in your mouth to keep your mouth open, and then they run the tube down your throat. So I warned the doctor. I said, Doctor, and my mother was there. She said, you know what? I know my son. Instinctively, he's going to choke you. So if I was you, I would tie his hands down. And it was this young hotshot doctor who thought he knew everything. And so the minute they started running that camera down my throat, I had a panic attack, somewhat of a panic attack, and I went into survival mode because I don't freeze up too much. If you corner me, I'm going to attack you because I want to survive. It's my nature. So instinctively, I started panicking because what human being is used to a tube just going down their throat like that? So I reached up and choked the hell out of him out of instinct because I had blacked out in a sense. My mind wasn't there anymore. And he was like, "What the hell are you doing?" And I was like, "Uh huh." And my mama was like, "I told you that's what he does. It's a reflex. He doesn't even know he's doing it. He's always been that way. I told you to tie his hands down." So he rescheduled the whole procedure, and I had to go with another doctor, and she was smart enough to tie my hands down and to give me a something that actually made me go to sleep. And when I woke up, that nightmare procedure was over. They took the pictures of my heart and everything, right? So that was just a part of the journey too. That's called an ablation, by the way. That's what you call that. That's an ablation, right? And that was the first ablation I had. The second one, all I remember is the lady, beautiful, beautiful doctor. She was a Latino. She was beautiful. She said, "I heard about you. You the one who flirt with everybody, huh?" I said, "Yeah, that's me." And she was like, "Uh huh. You the charming guy, huh?" I said, "Yeah." You single? She's like, "Not if you ask my husband, but hey, hell, we could talk after the procedure." So I said, "Okay, I'm not asking your husband nothing. I'm too old to get my ass kicked." Right? So, so she said, "Look, I'm gonna tie your hands down, but I'm gonna give you something that's gonna make you drowsy." That thing didn't make me drowsy, y'all. It knocked me the hell out, and it was done. I was asleep when I woke up. I didn't remember the tubes going down my throat or nothing, nothing. Well, let me back up a little bit. So after the heart surgery I had, where they didn't give me a heart transplant, they cleaned up. They went inside and cleaned up that extra membrane, and cleared a blockage off my lungs, right? Which would make me live a little longer. So when I woke up, I had a tube down my throat, and out of reflex, I went to grab it. My mother was there. I remember my mom before I went in. She was crying. Her eyes. My mom got these eyes where I hate watching her cry. I always tell her that. She's like, "Oh Troy." All I remember is, "Oh Troy, oh Troy, oh Troy, oh Troy." She was just constantly saying my name, but she was crying. She was so worried about me, and I was doped up on the happy gas. I said, "What you crying for, lady? I'm gonna be just." And that's all I remember. I was knocked out after that, right? So when I woke up, reflex, I went to grab that breathing tube out my throat. And my mom was like, uh-huh, yeah. I knew you were gonna do that. They didn't tie me down this time. They handcuffed me. They handcuffed me because they said, you know what? I was bigger than I had some muscle. So they were like, we better handcuff him because when they wake up, they're pretty strong. So they handcuffed me. I don't think they would have tied me down. It would have secured me. So I went to yank the tube out my throat just out of reflex, and I couldn't because both my hands were handcuffed to the side of the bed. And my mother was like, "Yeah, I was waiting on you. I was not gonna leave you, baby. I was sitting right here. I'm not gonna leave you. And I knew you were gonna do that. I know my own son. Yeah." I said, I was so out of it. My mom was like, "You know, you didn't know who I was when you woke up." Because I was like, "Who's this lady here?" I don't know because they doped me up so bad that my mind wasn't clear for about an hour. So I didn't know. I didn't know my father. I didn't know my mother. I didn't know anybody. I was like, "Who's this lady sitting next to me?" And she was like, "Troy." And I'm like, "Who's Troy?" I didn't know who I was. Hey, ladies are talking everybody. Yeah, so that was one of them. And then I had to I was feeling a little weak for a long time. Then finally I called my daughter up to get her brothers because I had to go to the hospital. So I went to my primary doctor first. This was years later. This was like 2011 now, 3 years later. So I went to him and he was checking me out and he's like, "You're having a stroke." I'm like, "How come I'm still standing?" He's like, "Yeah, I know, but you're having a stroke. Your vein in your neck is pulsing and your heart rate is crazy. So you got to go to the hospital. I'm gonna call an ambulance." I said, "Ambulance?" I said, "Hospital's down the street. I could drive." He's like, "No, no, you're not driving." So what he did was he uh he drove me in my car to the hospital, right? And I stayed there. And my kids went to my sister's house. They went to their auntie house. And come to find out, they said, "You should have died. How are you still alive? Your heart rate was ridiculous. And you basically should have died, man." And I'm like, "Well, I guess that wasn't God's will. I'm still here." He's like, "How are you so calm? How are you even alive?" They kept every doctor was like, "How are you still here?" I'm like, "I don't know. I literally had a stroke, but I didn't pass out, or I don't know. I just, So basically, they kept me in the hospital again, and this time wasn't as much fun because I was in a I was in a nightmare hospital, and they doped me up. They gave me the right medicine, but it was 3 times the dosage. So I was out of my mind. I was out of my damn mind. If y'all think I'm crazy already or somewhat of an ass already, imagine me doped up. I don't drink, I don't do drugs, but imagine me high as hell. And so I kept feeling like I was gonna die, you know? And then they lost me in the hospital. You beat up the doctors. Okay, well, I was too high to beat anybody up. But they lost me in the hospital because they had me in the wrong wing. And so when my family was looking for me, they were like, "What you mean you don't know where he is?" My family came to the hospital. My auntie is a head nurse was a head nurse of a big hospital at the time. So they finally found me. And she said she was there and she was holding my hand and crying because I was talking to them. about dying and carrying on and carrying on. I didn't know who I was. She said, "This is not my nephew. What did y'all do to him? He don't talk like that. What y'all do to my nephew?" And she was nervous. She did not want to call my mother because my mother would have flipped out and then came to the hospital and flipped out. She said if she saw me like that. So she stayed with me for a day and make sure I found out what the hell was going on. And she's the one who found out after asking for my records because I put her on as one of my whatever you sign people up for in case of emergency contacts and all that. So she was authorized to look at my records and all that stuff. She was like, "Y'all gave him 3 times the dosage of his heart rhythm medicine. That's why the hell he's like that." And then the doctor came from vacation was and cussed all them nurses out. They're like, "You're trying to kill this man. You're trying to kill him." So I had to stay in that hospital for like a week. Then they transferred me to another hospital. And once my head cleared, I was back to being me. But I lost a whole week because they doped me up so bad. Yeah, I was crazy. They doped me up that bad. And so when I went to the other hospital, they explained to me your heart rate was like nearly 3 times the normal rate. And usually when that happens with people, they pass out or die. Or it was 3 times. I don't even remember, but it was way higher than it should have been. And they said, well, and your blood pressure was super low. He said, you've been sick, you've been feeling weak for a while. I'm like, yeah. He said, and you never came in? Yeah. I said, no, I just thought I could. And he finished my sentence. He's like, yeah, you just thought you could see it through? He said, one more day, you probably would have dropped dead. I said, oh. I did my stupid stuff. I said, you got a doctor? And he's like, yeah, I have a doctor. I said, good, can I get a second opinion? And he was just bust out laughing, like, did you hear what I just said? You could have died. I said, yeah, man, I've heard it about 3, 4 times already in my life. So you telling me ain't gonna make no difference to me, right? So he was like, you want to see my doctor to get a second opinion? Oh God, okay. And I kept plucking with the doctor because his name was James Brown. My doctor's name was James Brown. I said, he said, you the hardest working. He said, stop. I've been hearing that joke since I became a doctor. Just stop. Let's try and be serious, Mr. Graham. This is a serious situation. I'm like, for you it is. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? He said, you can die. I said, oh yeah, that. He just looked at me like, what planet are you from? You sure you're not high now? Like, no, I'm not high. I'm just hiding. I'm just hiding my emotions. So that was that part of it. So flash ahead to what is it now? 215 and all that. I had a that wasn't that that was the one time I can't say that was funny. So I was going through like a real bad divorce, and the ex-wife was just stressing me out, and we were arguing about the house and everything else. And I had a stroke right in front of my sons, right there in front of my house, in front of my sons, and I just went down. And I literally told them, "Help me." They said, "Daddy, we're gonna call the ambulance." I'm like, "No, no, no. I don't want to go to the hospital. Just help me in the house. Help me in the house." And so they helped me, and I got on the couch, and they looked like they were about to bust out crying. I said, "Get me some water and my medicine, please." And they were like, "We should call. We gotta go to the hospital, Daddy. You gotta go to the hospital." And I'm like, "Nah, I ain't going to the hospital. I'm not going to the hospital. Y'all be all right. Your dad will be just fine." I should have went, but I was afraid. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go that time. It's the one time I didn't have any jokes. I just looked at them little faces, and they were like, they looked at me like, "Daddy, you're gonna die this time. You gonna leave us. You're gonna die." They never see me that week before ever. So I told them, come here, come here, come here, come here. You know I'm gonna be all right, right? Right? They were like, yeah, Dad, you're gonna be all right. I'm like, what? What? You don't sound too sure. I mean, what are we? They said because I used to have this thing with them when things go bad. I'd be like, who are we? And when they say we the Grams, and we don't give up. I'm like, you're damn right, you don't give up. You're a Graham. You don't ever give up, right? So that was that. But yeah, but wow. I won't forget that one at all. At all, I ain't gonna forget that one. That one stuck with me. Definitely stuck with me right there. Because I never see my kids that looked at me like that. Like they didn't lose confidence, but they were super worried. They were real young too. I was now about 9 years ago. So you talk about a 10-year-old. You talking about a 12-year-old and a 13-year-old. No, 14. Yeah, 14, 12, and 10. 10-year-old. And they would just look depressed, you know. So I was too weak to cook. So I gave them my credit card. I said, order some food from the Jamaican store and the Jamaican place. Well, they said, can we get some Chinese food, Daddy? I said, yeah, order some Chinese food then. I ordered it and I paid. I paid for it. They ate. They wouldn't leave my side neither. They went upstairs and brought down a mattress and some covers, and they slept right there next to me. And we watched a football game or whatever that came on. They said, we gonna sleep down here with you, Daddy. We gonna stay down here with you. I said, no, go upstairs and play your video game. Can we bring our video game down here and play it on this TV? Yeah, 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 yeah. Y'all can do that. That's fine, right? So that's what they did that night. That's what my boys did. But look, I'm gonna stay on here for maybe another 3 minutes, and then I'll come back another time and tell some more stories about this journey I'm doing. Journey on the way to the heart transplant. So I do about another 3 minutes. I just won't forget that day in 215 when the boys was like they were like, wow. They really thought their daddy was gonna die that night because they never see me go down like that. They were like, they didn't even argue or fight with each other that night. No, sir. No, they didn't. They were just, they didn't leave my side. They went upstairs. They took a mattress. They brought down two mattresses and sheets and covers. They said, we sleeping down here with you. And we're gonna play the game and we're gonna make sure you are. Don't be trying to get up and do too much, Dad. So when the Chinese food came, I said, let me get to the door. He's like, nah, Dad, we could do it. So I told him to give the man a tip and bring me the paper so I could sign it. So, I signed the paper and everything. And I said, okay, get a get some newspaper and spread it out, and we'll just eat right here on the floor, right? So that's what we did. They said, didn't you tell us you had a stroke? I said, yeah. So why you eating Chinese food? I don't know why I was eating Chinese food. I wanted Jamaican food, but them fools wanted Chinese food. So I just went with the flow. So basically, after having a stroke, I ate food filled with sodium. I never said I was the brightest man in the world. I just said I was a man. Right? So they were like, Daddy, you sure you should be eating Chinese food? After after what? I said, after what? You could say it. They did not want to say I had a stroke. They were afraid. My sons won't to this day they're grown and they won't say it. They won't say it. They're grown. They're 23, 22, and 19, and they will not say my daddy had a stroke. They won't say it. They will not say it, even today. Yeah, they didn't want to say it at all, you know? They just looked at me like, man, you used to say you were Superman, Daddy. You used to tell us when we had nightmares that you are a superhero and you're gonna come in our dreams and beat up our monsters. That's what you used to tell us, right, Dad? I said, yeah, that's I'm still Superman. You're like, Superman don't have no stroke, Daddy. Superman don't have strokes. You ain't Superman no more, Daddy. No, I guess I wasn't. Not that night. Daddy wasn't Superman that night, you know. But that's all right. That's all right. So that's it for on this the first episode of my journey to heart transplant from Lvad to heart transplant, episode one. I think I'll just leave y'all with a prayer tonight, you know. I'll leave y'all with Brother DMX. Are you interested in starting your hold on, y'all. Let me get past these commercials. Here y'all go. First, I thank you for the life of everyone that's here with me. Then I thank you for the love you give me. Why? I don't know. I don't deserve it, and it hurts inside. Many nights I cried and called your name out loud, but didn't call you when I was too good, too proud. And still you gave me love. I wasn't used to that. Most of the people that gave me love ended up taking it back. That's something new to me. So I'm asking you for time to adjust. Let me make it. I will be one you can trust. What I stand for, I put my life on. I do. I guess what I'm asking is, show me how to stand for you. And I will rap for you, sing for you, reach for you, preach for you, teach for you. I will love you like you love me, unconditionally. And I will always be prepared for whatever the mission will be. Give the nutrition to me, and I'll properly digest it. When I give it back, I will show you word well invested. And whenever I go, before I go, let me give. Thanks to you, Lord, for my birth, for every day that I've lived. You gave me a love most of my life I didn't know was there. I give you my life because you cared. Amen. Amen. So bless up and big up yourself and just go live a happy, prosperous, and peaceful life, and you will walk the path of your dreams and never stop loving yourself. Because the minute you stop loving yourself, you'll never be able to love others. I'm gone.